The imaginary friend. Jackie from Oklahoma says she remembers having an imaginary friend when she was young. Her grandparents, Granny Junie and Pa Hank, lived in a small home with a quiet backyard. Jackie recalls visiting them as a child and making daisy chains out of dandelions while sitting beneath a big tree. I have very good memories of my Pa Hank. He would sit under the tree with me and tell me stories. The stories were often about his life and memories of Prohibition. The only problem, her grandfather died in 1981 and Jackie was born in 1982. I don't think I ever realized that I was getting stories from a ghost. He did die in the house. Pa Hank would get up in the middle of the night when she was staying at the house and roam the hallways. It never occurred to me that these were memories of an entity. Even though her friend was actually her dead grandfather, it casts a different light because it was a relative and not a stranger. It always felt like just talking to my Pa Hank. The staircases. If you happen upon a staircase in the middle of the woods, run for your life. Legend has it that there are multiple abandoned staircases in national forests around the world. It is a solo staircase that leads to nowhere. Some of the stairs are decrepit, while others are intact. Some are even iron spiral staircases. There's no definitive reason why these staircases are there, but the warning remains the same: do not climb the stairs. There have been reports of people feeling uneasy or nauseous when climbing the stairs. So I'm saying this may be the reason why so many go missing in national parks. They may have been taken to another dimension or to the afterlife. Heed these words whenever you wander upon the staircases. The Granny Ripper, Part 1. After her husband's disappearance, Tamara Samsonova began renting out a room in her apartment. According to investigators, on September 6, 2003, during a quarrel, she killed her tenant. She then dismembered his corpse and disposed of it on the streets of St. Decius Way. In March 2015, Samsonova met 79-year-old Valentina Nikolaevna Ulanova. A friend of the two asked Ulanova to shelter Samsonova for a time due to the fact that Samsonova's apartment was being renovated, to which Ulanova agreed. Samsonova lived in Ulanova's apartment for several months, helping with the housework. She began to like living in the apartment, wanting to stay there for longer and refusing to move out. Over time, the relationship between the two deteriorated, and Ulanova eventually asked Samsonova to leave. After another conflict, she decided to poison Ulanova. Samsonova bought an Olivier salad, one of Ulanova's favorite dishes, then put the pills in the salad and gave it to the unsuspecting woman. The Granny Ripper Part 2. Samsonova later found Ulanova's body lying on the kitchen floor on the night of July 23rd and proceeded to dismember it with 2 knives and a saw. Firstly sawing off the victim's head, she then sawed the body in half and then using the knives, she cut it into pieces. Samsonova left pieces of Ulanova's body scattered in the house. On July 26th, Ulanova's body parts were found near a pond. The identity of the deceased was established on July 27th after a survey of apartment residents. When they knocked on Ulanova's apartment, Samsonova opened the door to the authorities. Having entered inside, police officers found traces of blood in the bathroom and also fastening from the torn-off curtain. After this, the Samsonova was immediately arrested. Bloody Mary. It all started with a divination ritual which encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backward holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. As they gazed into the mirror, they were supposed to be able to see their future husband's face. There was a chance that they would see the Grim Reaper instead. This indicates that they were going to die before they would have the chance to marry. In the ritual of today, Bloody Mary appears to you who ritualistically invokes her name in an act of catoptromancy. This is done by repeatedly chanting her name into a mirror placed in a dimly lit room. The name must be uttered 3 times. The Bloody Mary will appear to you as a corpse, witch, or ghost that can be friendly or evil. She will appear covered in blood, hence the name. The lore surrounding the ritual states that participants may endure the apparition screaming at them, cursing them, strangling them, stealing their soul, drinking their blood, or scratching their eyes out. If you are feeling risky, try to call out her name and see if she will pay you a visit. The intruder. A young woman is home alone with her dog. She receives an alert on her phone that a serial killer has escaped from a nearby prison. With her dog at her heels, she surveys the house, locks the doors and windows, curls up with her dog in bed, finishes her book, and drifts off to sleep. The girl soon awakens. She hears a distant dripping sound. Half awake, she checks the kitchen faucets but gives up and returns to bed, receiving a lick on the hand from her dog in comfort. Again, she's roused from slumber by the drip, 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 and falls back to sleep. But the third time, she hops out of bed, determined to locate the source of the incessant noise, and heads for the bathroom. When she flips on the light, she sees her dog is hanging from the shower nozzle with its throat cut, blood dripping on the tile floor. The girl backs into the wall behind her and collapses. Through tears, she stands up and turns around to find on the bathroom wall a message written in her dog's blood. "Humans can lick, too." The Slenderman stabbings. In 2014, 12-year-old Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire lured their friend into a forest to play a game of hide and seek. Anissa and Morgan pinned her friend Peyton Luther to the ground and stabbed her 19 times, leaving her for dead. They were attempting to sacrifice their friend to Slenderman. Peyton dragged herself to a nearby road until she was spotted by a man on a bike. She begs for help as she bled out. She was rushed to the hospital immediately. Luckily, she survived the brutal stabbing and was released from the hospital within a week. While Anissa was empathetic and sorry for what she did, Morgan showed no remorse. The two girls were found not guilty due to mental disease and were committed to mental institutions for 25 and 40 years. This was all done in service of